this is for me, y'all. Oh man, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. you know, um, you wouldn't be able to tell unless you kind of like just know me. But like, this is like kind of like a dream come true for me. This live isn't about me per se, but I just want to say, for those of y'all that's gonna be watching this back, I just want to pat myself on the back. And I don't do that a lot, but I just want to pat myself on the back because I've been making a lot of things come true, like people that I want to meet, stuff that I want to do. Um, Goals that I want to accomplish. I've been doing a lot of that, lately. And I'm just very, 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 very proud of myself. You know what I mean? So, shouts out to me. Shouts out to Solar Man. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Solar Man. What's up with it? What's up with it, Vibration? I appreciate y'all being here. And for those of y'all that's gonna be watching this back, we got a special. What's up with it? Mrs. Ambitious One. How you doing? How you feeling? How y'all living? I appreciate y'all being here. We got a special, special, special one today. He's on UK time, so I don't know if he's gonna be on time for this, because he kind of not on time already. uh you know but it's all good. But basically I was just kind of giving like a little breakdown of like what's going on. Man, I've been crossing off a lot of stuff on my bucket list, bro. Like, I met 607 Unk. That went how it went, but I met him. You feel me? I met him, I worked with him. Man, I met so many different people that I just been watching in the industry. This particular gentleman that we about to talk to today, he's somebody that I've been watching for years, bro. I've been watching him for years, bro. And he talks about the Nephilim, and the Nephilim look like clowns, and who the Nephilim are, and the fractal universe, and DMT elves, and just shit that I care about, shit that is important to me. You know what I mean? And I've been like knocking that out the park one by one. And it's like, no, I'm nowhere close to where I want to be with this content space. But man, damn, man, I done came a long way. So again, shouts out to me, because man, I worked hard for this shit. I got my boy coming over here again. He's on UK time, so he may or may not be on time. And if he doesn't even come to, he still told me that he would. So that means, he'll make it up to me. So it's like I can't lose with this shit. I can't lose with it. And I got y'all being here too. So I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, because we are the biggest, by the way. We're bigger than everybody that you can think of. I promise you. I promise you. I need to try DMT. Nah, well, the gentleman that we about to talk about today. Now, I kind of put together a little slideshow, kind of, sort of. But if you want to see stuff like that in the fractal universe, they call this a machine elf. That's what they call this, a machine elf. So if you want to see stuff like that, then you should do DMT. But personally, from what I've heard from people and their experiences, uh, these DMT L's aren't L's. They're just another excuse for demons. And the gentleman that we got coming on the platform today is an expert in this topic. So this is a good one. This is a real good one. This is a real good one. And I appreciate all y'all being here again. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. We are the biggest, by the way. We're bigger than everybody. Let's see. Where's the tinfoil hat? Yeah, I need to get me one, dog. I need to get me a tinfoil hat. Um, because actually, with all these radio waves and these chemtrails in the air, releasing all these pollutants and these metals into our stratosphere or whatever you call it, I probably should be wearing a tinfoil hat. At least it could kind of cover my crown chakra from getting polluted and corrupted. You know what I mean? So I probably should be wearing a tinfoil hat. You're right about that, dog. You're right about that, dog. You're right about that, dog. 14 already. Right on, right on. So he's late to the party. I'm gonna say start it. Join when ready. Cool. And I'm gonna run this for an hour. Now, if he don't join in this, then it's just gonna be me looking stupid. But you know what? That's okay, y'all. I'm a perfect example of success and how to bet on yourself and how to keep going. You feel me? Regardless of the circumstances or situations. So I'm going to talk about kind of what I understand because I've been watching this guy. I'm going to talk about what I understand from this topic, and then I'm gonna let him fill in the details that I missed or stuff like that. So first, let's start with this right here. This is called a machine elf. Machine elves, also known as fractal. Hold on, let me bring y'all over here. We're in full solo mode today, so you know I'm not playing today. You know what I mean? We in full solo mode. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? So, machine elves, that's what that is right there. Also known as fractal elves or self-transforming machine elves. Is a term coined by the late ethnobotanist Saint Terence McKenna. They gave him credit for that. Whatever. Uh, to describe the psychedelic, god-like apparent of the entities that are often reported by individuals using uh, tryptamine-based psychedelic drugs, especially DMT. So, stop right there, real quick. That's the beings that people say that they be seeing all the time, stuff like that. So what this guy theorizes is that these he called them godlike beings. To me, I only know one God, and the guy that we're gonna be talking with today, he kind of feels the same way. But those beings have been reported to be seen by everybody. Everybody has seen them. If you guys watch Joe Rogan or any platform like that, they talk about something. They talk about their DMT experiences and what they saw during those DMT experiences. If you watch those type of platforms, now when you watch those type of platforms, they tell you that during their trips they get visited by these beings that give them, either they give them like good information or give them bad information. You know what I'm saying? They either tell them something that's true or they tell them something that's not true at all. Kind of like a jester, right? Kind of like a clown, right? Right. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, you're on the same path. Yeah, Terrence McKenna. You know who it is, dog. Terrence McKenna. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, we're on the right path. All right. So that's one example of what they look like. And if we go into any ancient culture, hold on, let me flip the camera real quick. If we go into any ancient culture, the theory and the concept has been around memoriam, right? You might be asking yourself, like, so what, bro? Like, clowns are clowns. But isn't it kind of curious and isn't it kind of interesting that every single culture on the planet has a clown story? Every single culture. There's a European version, more European versions. That's the most popular, right? But this goes all the way back to the continent of Africa. Here's some more examples of this. I don't know where my cursor went. Oh, here we go. Here's some South American versions, right? So you got all these different versions of clowns, and you might be like, okay, bro, clowns. You know what I mean? They're clowns, bro. What are you trying to? So what y'all need to know about clowns is that oftentimes, not even oftentimes, 99.9% of the time, except I think in European, Eurocentric cultures, clowns are used as priests as well. The priests are also the jesters, and only I think in the European society there were clowns considered to be like purely used for entertainment. So these clowns or these gestures were used synonymously, meaning together at the same time with rituals and shamanism, meaning that these clowns are the beings, are the entities that watch over the tribe, that watch over the country, that watch over the kingdom. These are the beings that watch over us. And so this what this gentleman and I are about to be talking about today is that he theorizes is that the Nephilim, who are the Nephilim? We talk about this all the time, guys. The Nephilim are those fallen angels, children, are the offspring of those fallen angel children and those abominable beasts that lied in the earth. Those who the Nephilim are. Those who the Nephilim are. So what he theorizes is that our cultures have been developed around Nephilim, have been developed around demons. That's what's going on. You should call child services on your clowns. Next time somebody tries to take your child to a clown show or something like that, you should call child service. You should, because where clowns come from is an embodiment of a demonic presence. That's where clowns come from. An embodiment of a demonic presence. Hold on real quick. Let me make sure I ain't missing nothing real quick for my guest. Again, he can explain this way better than me. But again, y'all, you can't wait on nobody to show up. You got to show up for yourself. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right. All right. Yep. I still ain't got nothing yet. So I'm gonna just run it, y'all. So again, that's what clowns represent. What we don't know, and what y'all don't know is the reason. Let me go to some more clowns real quick. The reason that they got this big, stupid ass smile on their face and this big marker of, let me show y'all this so y'all don't think I'm sure. The reason that they look like this, bro, you see that? Where they got the elong, who does that look like, right? That looks like Pennywise the clown, right? And why are clowns often being used as the demonic presence and demonic force in modern day folklore? Because the people that make these movies, they know where clowns come from. Clowns were not used to just be a joke. First and foremost, the Nephilim were described as having pale white skin. The Nephilim, the children of the fallen, were described as having pale white skin and reddish brown hair. If you listen to giant stories and reports, even from most recent times, through the American occupation of Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff like that, they will tell you, the ones that have come in contact with these giants and with these Nephilim, they'll tell you their appearance looks like that, kind of like a clown. They have palish white skin. They have red, kind of like sparsed out hair, and then they have these red, ignorant, these red faces, bro. And why do they have red faces? Why do you think clowns have red lips and red noses? He doesn't have a red nose on this, but why do you think clowns have red lips and red faces? From the human blood that they're consuming. That's why. From the human blood that is consumed. That's why the cannibal nature of a clown is to consume human flesh. That's why it says in the word that Satan roams around like a lion looking to see who he can kill, eat, and destroy. Is because a lot of these times these beings, these abominations, were mixed with animal human DNA. And so they would roam around looking to see who they could kill, eat, and devour. And they had red lips because they ate human flesh. So next time you see Ronald McDonald the clown, next time you see Pennywise the clown, next time you see Smile, next time you see any of these videos where clowns are being promoted, where they're at the epicenter of the conversation, just understand that the reason that they look like this, the reason that they're pushing that smiling, like these creepy smiles are so demonic, is because they're referencing these clowns. So you might be like, oh, bro, that's just European. Like, that's not everybody, right? You'll be wrong. Hold on. He said, just seen a video about how all the old bells with healing frequencies were cracked in 1950. In 1950, keep the evil away from the cities and towns. Yeah. All that happened simultaneously as history was being rewritten into this thing that we understand now. So that's a good point that you just made. I'm gonna have to dwell into that in just a bit. But if you pay attention to this though, real quick, see these are European versions, but just imagine and think about it like this too, right? When you think about clowns and when you think about anything that's going on, imagine this, right? Why do you think that in circuses and stuff like that, the clowns are the most freakish things, are the most freakish beings in the whole show? Clowns can do what? They can contort their bodies, right? They can do all types of weird stuff with their bodies. They can put their head. They can do stuff that demons do, right? Sometimes the people walking on stilts and stuff like that, they make them giants, is because they're representing these Nephilimic beings, these kings of old. That's what they're representing, these kings of old. It's in every culture, people. McDonald's is human meat, exactly. And why do you think the main person of McDonald's, or the main what's the word? The mascot of McDonald's is a clown with that red smile. And they want children, bro. These people, they harvest off the energy of our ignorance. So the more we stay ignorant to this shit, the more it doesn't want to zoom in. Anyways, I'm trying to show you guys this one too. See, what happens is the truth gets put down in shaman in lore and folklore. It becomes stories and stuff like that. When all these things are rooted from something that's true. Here goes another one. The sacred clown. Sacred clowns are a characteristic feature of the ritual life of many traditional religions, and they typically employ scatology and sexual obscenities. Ritual clowning is where comedy and satire originated. So I don't know what scatology is, but I do know, if I think, if I can guess what they mean. See, these look like to be southern Mesoamerican clowns. Um, uh, what I believe that it means. Oh yeah, two famous examples of ritual clowns in North America are the Koyamish and the Nueke. See, these are South and North American clowns. So what these people would do was is and was they get super high. The priests and the spiritual shamans of the tribe, they get super high, and then they would invoke the spirits of these fragmented beings. And so if you want, if you interested in these colors, right? These colors also look like the Freemasons as well. So you got to kind of like pay attention to all this. And the black striped fractal pattern. That's also something that we're supposed to talk about today. The fractal universe. So you got these beings that are represented of that fractal universe, and the fractal universe is where these beings exist, because these beings are abomination. They can neither ascend high nor low. They're stuck in what's called the in between, or the fractal universe. These beings like this. So when these priests and these shamans, they get high and they dress up like this, it's not just for sacred tradition. It's for religious practices to invoke the spiritual powers of these demonic entities. And these entities are resting in all major cultures that you and I stem from. Now, these people right here, they're trying to invoke the thunder god spirit, or the god of rain and prosperity and things like this. But these same gods that they worship are also the same gods that bring about destruction and can destroy their tribes and so on and so forth. But these people, they get high and they invoke the spirits of these demons. That's what happens. They're all metaphors. Skrilla is the clown. Yeah, Skrilla, or the 6'7" guy. He practiced. He tells you what he practiced. He doesn't lie about it. That's one thing I kind of admire about the guy. He tells you that he practices payola, and he practices what's the word? Santeria. So Santeria is a Cuban Latin mix of African Ogun, or multiple spirit and deity worship. That's what that is. So it's a mixture of voodoo, voodoo, African spirit, West African spiritualism, and Cuban Latin mix, because they got kind of like mixed up and shit in there. So that's what that is. And what Skrilla does is he invokes these demonic beings through worshiping of his idols. That's why he tells you, if you watch his documentaries and shit like that, he finally made a decision, and his decision was he had to figure out what he wanted to ask for. And what he wanted to ask for was influence over millions and this, this rock star life that he's living. But in order for him to keep that, he has to make sacrifices to his deities, and he also has to take care of their statues, of their resting places, of their idols. He has to take care of his idols. So yeah, Skrilla is a real good example of kind of like this clown worship ship. Let's show you guys some more though, because it looked like I might be doing this show by myself, but it's all good, yo. He's just gonna have to run it back. Yeah, that witch. See, that's kind of like that's kind of like something different. But yeah, let's go look at these clowns, man. Hold on, let's look at these clowns. Let's look at these clowns. Yeah, I'm gonna address that in just a second. I just want to show you guys kind of like how deep this stuff goes. You know what I mean? It's not just clowns, it's dinosaurs and shit. It's anything to do with dragons and the occult. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like all over the place, but it makes sense here in just a second. Every single culture on the planet has clowns, and in the way that they describe them as having these big feet, these big red lips, pale skin, and if you think about them outside of the context of a child, being kind of like what's the word, being kind of for entertainment purposes, for entertainment reasons, clowns are kind of like the creepiest shit on the world. You know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of like creepy as fuck. Like if you think about it outside of the context of entertainment. Like if you was just to see one of these things on the street walking, you would be freaked out. Hold on, y'all. I gotta go. I'm trying to get some bigger pictures. Hold on, y'all. If you think about it outside of the context of entertainment, clowns are the creepiest shit in the world, dude. Now, for those of y'all that seen the show Stranger Things, I don't know if I got anybody in here that's seen Stranger Things, but Stranger Things. So, what I want y'all to understand too is that clowns in traditional guys, literally, for their demonic presence. So, what in some cultures, what a young man would have to do, in order for him to be considered a man, he would have to go into the tent. He would have to go into the tent, and it would be pitch black dark in there, and he wouldn't be able to see anything. And while he's there, he would be getting tormented. He would have to survive, rather, getting tormented by these spirits. So he goes inside the tent, and he gets tormented by these spirits, and through that, all his worst fears, everything that all the shit that he thinks about that don't nobody know, all the deeds that he's done that he thinks ain't nobody seen, that's all supposed to get divulged to him during this. And as he comes out, he's supposed to then be considered a man because he dealt with his demons. So it's not just a theory, or it's not just us, making it up, that clowns have been traditionally used for scaring people. That's a kind of a grotesque looking creature on the thing right there. But this is what they do though. You go inside of this tent and you get tortured until you come out a better man. Until you come out a man. That's what happens. And then the more and more you look into this a little bit, you realize that again, like the gentleman on here said, that there's literally a disguise. The clown aspect is literally, for us people, is literally a disguise for how they truly look. It's a disguise, bro. I wanted to show y'all the Stranger Things photo. So if y'all have ever seen Stranger Things, y'all notice this big stupid looking monster that is like, I've never watched it, but in the thumbnail of Stranger Things, they got they got stuff that has like an elongated skull. Why do you think they wore stuff like this? Y'all think they did that just because they want to look funny? And you gotta, so what I'm saying is, you gotta think about the history behind why people do what they do. The reason that they wear elongated heads and skulls and stuff like that is because these demons are these fragmented beings, these fallen beings, these Nephilim. They had skulls like this, elongated ears, contorted bodies, pale skin, big old feet. Exactly. Reptiles, abominations, monsters, absolute monsters. These things are, bro. And they're not conspiracy. All these people have seen them. And so this is a better depiction of a jester. Now, this is before It the Clown. This is before all of that. It the Clown, Stephen King's rendition of It. He's only biting off of stories that were told in folklore. All these people they get their stories from history. Now, this right here is a 19th century impression of a jester. You see, he has a child, or like a little man child in his arms, but it's supposed to represent a child. And you see the demonic face, but then you see the big old smile. You see that? You kind of see the horns protruding out of his skull. Very, like you said, reptilian like. You see the feet, the elongated feet, the fractal colored and patterns on his wear. Because these gestures, these beings, again, they exist in a fractal universe, on in between space. Rumpelstiltskin was a demonic being. That's why and all these people, they want to feed off of the essence of children, because the essence of children is purity, and pure life force is still and pure life is still the highest commodity in the known universe. Let's see some more. These are all Europeans and stuff like that. Europeans, they got a lot of cool history and stuff, but this stuff goes way further back than Europe. Way further back than Europe. So this is the original version of Harley Quinn. You know, Harley Quinn off of Batman and shit like that. Suicide Squad and stuff like that. This is an original. Now, if you look at the face right here, it's kind of this one is kind of interesting because it's black, or what would appear to be black. But then also, if you, it's kind of like blurry. The pixelation is blurry for you guys, but if you look closely, I can see it. You got a big old red kind of frown right here. And again, look at the feet. Always look at the feet. Always look at the feet. Look at the skull too. Yeah, vampires and werewolves kind of all stem from this what's the word I'm looking for? All this stuff comes from somewhere. None of it's made up and just made up shit. And the reason that these people would have to perform and stuff like that is because you have to appease the gods. You have to appease the spirits. So it tells us in the Old Testament how we had to make burnt offerings and sacrifices and burn incense that were pleasing to God, in order to speak with God, or in order to stop God's wrath, or things like that. It's been long speculated that the Old Testament is really the old world, and the world in which excuse me, the world in which Nephilim walked around freely, and the old kings and the kings of old and the giants of old, and the heroes of old. That's really who a lot of people were in contact with during the Old Testament. That's a theory that's been going around. I can't say whether that's true or false. What I can say that there is a lot of evidence to support that pre-flood times, because a flood did happen. Every society talks about a flood happening, but pre-flood times, shit like this was walking around. Shit like this. Here's a better one of how they look right here. You got to think about it, bro. Even in Africa, even in South America, they will paint their skin to be pale white, and then they'll have some type of reddish hair if they're showing some hair, or they'll have the elongated skulls, and the stupid looking hats and stuff like that. Every single culture. Why? all these cultures all these cultures were not in contact with each other simultaneously. No, all these cultures have experienced the same thing because they experienced the same demonic entities infiltrating their lands. Notice the lips, the big dumbass smile, the crazy looking reptilian demonic looking eyes, the pale white skin, the fractal colors, the big stupid ass hair, the red cheekbones. And again, that's not from having makeup on to look cool. That's from human flesh, dog. From human flesh, dog. Human flesh, dog. That's why their cheeks are red. Human flesh, dog. Human flesh, bro. Let's look at some more cultures that embody the pale skin. So, what am I saying? Am I saying the European standards of beauty and stuff like that? Because they appreciate pale skin and red lips and stuff like that. Am I saying the European standard of beauty is rooted and centered in a demonic? Yes, I absolutely am. And it's not just the European standard of beauty, because that standard of beauty has become the world standard of beauty, and has infiltrated the Asian continents, and also the continents of Africa and stuff like that as well. Look at them. Again, look at the feet. The big, no humans are this big, right? So you gotta pay attention to everything. No humans are this big where we need that much space. Monsters are that big. Monsters are that big. Again, look at the lips. Monsters are that big. Monsters smile like that. Shit that's good for you don't smile like that. Monsters do that. Yeah, bro. Those aren't flat tops on mountaintops. Those were giant ancient trees. Yeah, dog. I'm gonna do a whole nother live on that too. But yeah, that's definitely true. Um, Look at the hair, man. These things, these creatures, definitely existed, bro. See, and oftentimes freak shows for sure. Oftentimes when you see these freak shows, or you see these clowns, or you see these people embody these creatures, their movements, their the way that they are, the way that they act, aren't human. I mean, like, they're not human. They're not based in the human reality. They're based in kind of like a weird creature type of reality. Again, the way that they move their bodies, the way that they can to squeeze themselves all the way down into little tiny cars and come up out of that, the way that they can put flaming swords of fire down. You know, that's what animals do. That's what monsters do. These people are monsters, bro. Are they embodying? Are they invoking the spirits of these monsters? Clown and serpent worship. Yeah, I never liked carnivals, bro. Ever. I always thought that shit was weird. I couldn't tell you why. I just thought it was weird. And come to find out, if you want to know about the belief system of a lot of those people that work in those carnival, I mean, yeah, they are subject to humiliation and stuff like that. But nowadays, outside of that being true, these those people also believe in some very demonic type of shit. Very demonic. I want to show you guys a couple more. See, here's a good one. This is a South American Pueblo clown. Oops. They want you to donate some money. This is a Southern American Pueblo clown. It doesn't have the red lips, but it has like it has the fragmented fractal colored plant, the fractal colored plant colors. I'm sorry, and it's holding what appears to be a star, because that's where they come from. They come from the stars of Osiris and shit like that. There, but if you look at this, their skulls were often like this. If you guys seen Stranger Things, kind of those weird creatures and shit that be in Stranger Things, they be having skulls shaped like this, fractal color patterns. Because again, they don't exist in high or low. They exist in between. They're tortured spirits. So DMT type of pictures and shit like that. There is the fractal universe. Whenever we do DMT or we do those type of psychotropic drugs, where we're able to like decode reality, we're actually looking at kind of like what's right in front of us already, but we're not all the way able to access it, because really we ascended above that. Really, being this flesh and blood is kind of like a blessing. It's kind of like the best thing you could do, because these tortured beings wish that they had our flesh, wish that they had our blood, wish that they had the love of God that we have, so that they could exist, and so they could either die or live. You know, but they can't do nothing. All they can do is exist in between. But again, look at the fractal color pattern, the weird shaped feet, the pale skin, and the stupid head. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's creepy, bro. Any other place outside of tradition, this shit would be creepy as fuck, bro. It's true, bro. It's true, bro. I just want to show y'all a couple other cultures that embody this shit real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Here you got some clown symbolism along with reptilian symbolism. This is a perfect depiction right here. I mean, it's just plain as day, right? So oftentimes, when these shamans or when these priests embody these spirits, they also take over the personality or the characteristics of an animal as well. So, because again, a lot of these tormented beings and souls were mixed with animal hybrid DNA. So, splicing in DNA manipulation is not a new phenomenon, guys. This has been going on since time immemorial. Again, there's nothing new under the sun whatsoever. Here we go. This is a perfect one right here. Perfect right here. Perfect right here. Perfect right here. Yeah, this is kind of like exactly what I was looking for too. All right, so this is a perfect depiction right here, guys. I mean, it don't get no better than this. Hold on, real quick. Real quick. I wanted to show his skull. Maybe I can get it, or they're not gonna show it. All right, whatever. Anyways, what a lot of cultures would do in order to embody. So y'all think what y'all think this is? Y'all think this is just him enjoying some watermelon with these crazy demonic type of eyes and this weird elongated smile with this weird elongated skull and these fractal color patterns? Y'all think that's him just enjoying some nice watermelon? This watermelon represents human flesh because when you get in the in the body of water, that's why his fingers are red and his lips are red from devouring human flesh. This stuff is not an accident, guys. These are where clowns come from. Do you think clowns are good guys? These things were monsters, bro. And they walked amongst us. His fingernails are red, his hands are red from devouring human flesh. And they use that's what they would do in these shamanic practices. They would use watermelon and stuff like that in order to represent cannibalism, to appease the gods instead of sacrificing like they used to and actual human bodies and stuff like that and children, men and women and children. With they'll we times have changed, but there's nothing new under the sun though. We're just gonna use some watermelon. But these are different cultures, guys, from the ones that I just showed y'all last time. But y'all notice the correlation in the patterns. Notice the pale skin, the red lips from devouring human flesh, the demonic look in the eyes. What they'll do is hide the truth from plain sight and then tell you that it's fiction. And we got 4 more minutes, guys. So I just want to let y'all look at this. But look at this. Ain't this crazy? Some type of weird pattern. Ain't this crazy? It's crazy as hell, bro. Because you wouldn't even think about it like this. But now that I'm saying it to you, you might start thinking like, you know what? That shit do make sense. That's why clowns have always been this. You feel me? Clowns always been weird. Again, these are where modern day clowns all stem from this type of shit right here. Modern day clowns. You're it the clown, you're Pennywise the clown, you're Gacy the clown, you're Boo Boo the fool clown. Whoever these people are, they all stem from ancient traditions of demon worship, where these beings used to walk amongst us pre-flood times. And so now what they do is that in order to get blessings or protection from these demonic beings and spirits, they'll do rituals and they'll dress up and try to look as much like them. These things were demons, bro, and they walked amongst us. Let me try to show y'all a couple more pictures and then I'm out of here, y'all. But this is where that shit comes from, bro. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that shit crazy? Here go another one. Hold on real quick. Here go another one. I think I just clicked on that shit. I just clicked on that shit. My fault. All ancient cultures have this though. Ain't that crazy? That should tell you right there. And that's what I was talking about with the Stranger Things thing. For those of y'all that have seen Stranger Things, y'all know that they got them monsters on there where heads that look like this. Again, these things aren't just because they trying to wear stupid hats to make you laugh. It's because these things had heads that were distorted and contorted. These things had stupid ass heads. And these things will move about and weird, chaotic. These things were agents of chaos. So they didn't care about good. They were bad for the sake of being bad. That's why a jester is just goofy for the sake of being goofy. Because these things didn't have any form of morality in their beings. That's why they were abominations to the Lord. That's why they had to go. They had to die. These things were bad just for the sake of being bad. Last thing I want to show y'all real quick. Pale Japanese. All right. I had to just put in pale. And see, they got the one eye symbolism right there. None of this shit is on accident, bro. None of this shit is on accident. But if you look at the standards of beauty that exist throughout the world, you got to start drawing correlations where it's like, oh, that's what the fuck they're trying to do. Red lips, right? Like, cause nothing about this naturally is beautiful, right? And I'm not speaking down upon Japan as a culture. All I am saying is that Japan does have demonic worship where they worship multiple gods. They do. You know what I'm saying? But outside of the normal context of just normalness, nothing about a woman looking dead is beautiful or attractive, right? I mean, can we all just agree on that? Nothing about a woman looking dead is attractive. So they got the red eyebrows, the kind of the black dark eyes, and the red lips. And again, a lot of these people they will tell you that it's tradition because they don't even know where it comes from. All this shit comes from Nephilim worship, pale faces, red lips. The red lips come from cannibalism, but they don't even know. They don't even know why they're doing it. They're just doing it. They don't know why they're doing this. They think they're doing something good, looking crazy like this. Anyways, y'all, I know I promised y'all a guest on this show, and he was supposed to come, but for whatever reason, he didn't come. It was a page that goes by, or his name is Understanding Conspiracy. Um, I got him to agree to do the show, but again, for whatever reason, maybe for whatever reason, he was not able to pull up for this episode. So I do appreciate y'all being here. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. How you doing, man? Peace, God. Peace, King. Peace, Nick. Peace, Nefertari. I appreciate y'all being here. We are the biggest, by the way. So make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Today we were talking about the Nephilim and clowns and shit like that there. And you see how crazy she looked? We list. So this is where before I'm gonna end on this point. We exist in a culture that is so this is where we at with it on a timeline scale, guys. The old world was like the new world, and this new shit is like some in-between shit. Like it's neither old nor new. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of like just now getting out of the stone age within like the last 300 to 400 years. Because pre-slavery times, we were kind of like still kind of rebuilding from the new advanced world that just got destroyed. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling y'all it's true. This shit that we living in right now is backwards. That's why up is down, left is right, right is left, white is good, black is bad. You know what I'm saying? This shit is backwards. But the old world, also that we were escaping, was riddled, and was infested with these type of things. So, I say all that to say that keep God first in your life, and you'll a lot of this shit will start making true. But if you want to know where clowns come from, and we're gonna talk more about this again because I was supposed to have my guest come through, a real big content creator, man. I mean, I'm grateful and blessed to even have him consider it. Even though he didn't show up, I'm still grateful and blessed to. I mean, it's just as big for me. It's just as big as like a 607 Charleston White. You feel me? Big homie CC, who we talking to, by the way. That's for another day. But anyway, it's just as big to me as that. So we gonna do a part two on this. But I just wanted to introduce y'all that the world we living in, the reason that shit look weird and we don't ever question it is because we've all been conditioned to just go along with some shit, even though we don't understand it, even though it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? None of this shit makes sense. But if you look into it, it all comes from demon worship, spirit worship. And just because it's old doesn't make it right. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. I go by the name of Solar Man. We are the biggest, by the way. Again, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. We monetize now too, so y'all can start hyping my videos. And again, that's just gonna get us outside so we can touch the people and stuff like that. There, I love y'all with the love of the Most High, and I'll see y'all next time in another episode, God willing. Peace and high vibrations to you.